Is your band ready? We continue our animated adventure with a trip through Saturday morning TV magic. First, we meet everyone's favorite blue healer pup in the joyful theme for Bluey. Then we jump to the fast-paced magical world of the Fairly Odd Parents. Here is Cartoon Hits. Now, under the direction of assistant drum major Emily Dorward, we get ready for something cool, stylish, and out of this world. We take a jazzy detour into space with one of the most famous anime openings of all time for Cowboy Bebop, featuring our awesome color guard section led by Captain Mickey Stepien. I think it's time we get everything and stuff together. Let's jam with sing. anthem, Happy. The Palmerton Blue Bomber Marching Band thanks you for your support and invites you to keep the music alive in our schools and community. We hope you enjoyed Bandmation.
Palisades High School, the site tonight for Colonial League football action. It's week number 7 of the high school football season. So glad you could join us here on PSD TV. Toby Witt and Luke Stangs, both from Palisades. Both seniors are in here with the booth with me. And happy to have them in here as well. And excited to have this homecoming night between the Blue Bombers of Palmerton with a record of 2-4 and the Pirates from Palisades with a record of 4-2. As we bring these guys in, and first of all, introduce everyone. Toby Witt, excited to be here to talk about being in the booth rather than being, playing football. Your thoughts of being up here and being able to announce the game a little bit different.
It's a lot different than what I'm used to. I mean, a little less adrenaline than what you're used to going, especially at this time of the game, just sitting there waiting for the clock to tick down to kick off. It's nothing like that. You're just sitting up here, comfortable, nothing to worry about, just up here to see the game from a whole different view.
And Luke, what about you?
It's real nice being up here, but I definitely do miss it down on the field.
All right, as we look at this matchup between these two teams, Chris Wakowiak is the head coach for the Blue Bombers. He's in his 15th year. They're coming off a win against Wilson by a score of 35-0. And one of their key players is Vince Taglieri. He's 18 receptions for 173 yards and a touchdown, rushing 62 for 355 and 3 scores. On the other side, for Jack Jerkel, he's having a great year to this point, over 1,000 yards. Your thoughts how he's been playing so far?
I mean, he's been playing great. I mean, I've grown up with him since playing in kindergarten, first grade, whatever. And from playing with him, I'm obviously a little biased, but I've always seen him as a great quarterback, very open-minded. He's very smart, one of the smartest people I've ever played with. And that's showing now, and especially in his senior year where it's very important, it's coming through.
And Luke, talking about staying with Jack, also grew a little bit. And I mean, last time I saw him, I mean, he probably grew 6-7 inches, right?
Yeah, he got real big.
a big difference for him. The Pirates at 4-2. They started the year at 4-0. Bobby Smith in his 4th year, they're coming off a loss against a very good Blue Mountain team by a score of 42-21. And they stand at 4-2 right now. And again, we'll look at the district compilation and the brackets from there. The keys to the game for these two teams: for Palmerton, limit turnovers, penalties, and be aware of the playmakers. And for Palisades, play physical and fast and play their type of football. Again, Chris Wakowiak is in his 15th year. Bobby Smith is in his 4th year as the head coach. As far as this series is concerned, as we're waiting for the teams to make their way out into the field, take a look at them first as they come through. The last 12 meetings, the Palisades has won 9 of the last 12, but Palmerton has won the last 2, 44-21 and 54-23. Go back to that 22 game. That was when Matt Mahalik was playing. That was that barn burner of a game, 47-40. That was back and forth, and Palisades had the victory back in 2022. We did that one here on PSD TV, so that was exciting to have that one for sure as we get those together and get everyone situated. So as we look at the season and get ready for the two teams to make their way onto the field, Toby, talk about Palisades as a community. You've been down on the field, and for both of you guys, you've been down on the field. And we always talk about that close-knit community here. To play in front of the community as the players come out, what did that mean to you?
I mean, it meant everything. Like, football's a big sport here in Palisades. Like, we're a small school, but this is one thing that really brings the community together. And you feel like you're putting on a show for everybody. Everybody comes out on their Friday nights, looks forward to this during the week, and you just want to go out and play the best game for yourself and for everybody that's there to support you.
Luke, what about you?
Seeing and hearing everybody definitely made me play a lot better and feel better.
On October 18th, it will mark 1 year since we lost Scott Spring, a member of the class of 20.
Okay, we pause right now and listen in to tonight's tributes.
Remember him as a warm-hearted soul with an unforgettable sense of humor. No matter the situation, he could always make you smile. His love for his friends and family was unwavering, and his dedication and loyalty left a lasting impact on everyone around him. We are deeply grateful to those who continued to keep Scott's spirit alive. May we never forget the joy he brought into our lives and the many ways he touched our hearts. offers were interrupted when he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps to serve in Vietnam, where he was awarded a Purple Heart. A fun and energetic phys ed teacher, Mr. Hohenstein was a role model and a positive influence. Mr. Hohenstein also coached for most of his tenure at Palisades. He was the head coach for football and track, but also served as an assistant for those sports as well as many others through the years. Coach Hohenstein's student athletes will always remember the way he led by example and the impact he had on all he came in contact with. Steve Hohenstein was 78. We also remember Ed Ruiz, who passed away on Wednesday. Longtime social studies teacher, Mr. Ruiz brought history to life by simply telling the story in a way a textbook could not. A respected leader, Ed was the first head coach in school history to lead the football team to a winning season in 1988. As a track and field coach, Ed Ruiz really made his mark. He was ahead of the times with his training techniques he learned by traveling the world. Athletes from the boys and girls teams achieved 51 state medals, with the girls team winning a state title in 1986, was second in 1987, and third in 1989. The girls team won 135 wins and 0 losses in dual meets over Ed's 15-year reign. That win streak would continue to a nationally recognized 166 straight dual meet wins. Coach Ruiz was a two-time PIAA Track and Field Coach of the Year. He found a connection with all of his student athletes and will be remembered for his dedication and leadership. Ed Ruiz was 70. We'd like to now observe a moment of silence to remember these three great individuals that left their mark. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, I will direct your attention to the Madrigal Singers as they will honor America with the singing of our national anthem. The Palisades School District is a member of the Colonial League and promotes good sportsmanship. All players, coaches, and spectators are expected to display good sportsmanship throughout tonight's event.
All right, just moments away from kickoff here between these two teams. Palisades at 4-2, and homecoming night in Palmerton at 2-4. One coming off 2 losses in the Pirates, and Palmerton coming off a win against Wilson last week by a score of 35-0. Guys, I'm going to keep asking you the same kind of questions because of football before we get everything going, because this is what you're used to going through. You know, you're on the sidelines, you're waiting, you're itching to get out there. You're standing there, you're probably banging another guy's head and going, all right, here it comes. I mean, so, but watching your former teammates, your teammates there down there on the field, you know, take us in there right now.
Right now, obviously everything's important before the game, but right now I'm standing on the sidelines. I'm probably to the side a bit, and I am anxious beyond belief. I'm ready to start the game. You have this huge build-up that you're ready to just let out as soon as kickoff starts or kick return, whatever you're on. But right now, you're stressed out beyond belief, like you don't know what to do with how nervous you are, how ready you are to go.
Toby really described it all, but right now I'd be trying to get in the good mental space for the game, trying to keep my cool.
That's this is the part I love. Sometimes you don't see this. You're in with. I broadcast with football players before, but when you guys are literally on the team and every player, you've been right there before, and what you're going to notice from up here that you didn't notice from down there. When coaches always say to you, "Hey, there's so much more space out there, guys. Give yourself spaces." You're going to notice it from up here when you don't know it. I know when you watch a film, you see it, but when you watch the game by halftime, you're going to say, "Wow, yeah, you know what? There's a lot more space out there. I could have got this extra yardage. I could have." Did this or that. What positions did you guys play?
I played linebacker, fullback, so I was heading the game. For a little bit, I played offensive line. That was when we had a shortage of linemen, and then obviously all special teams I was always out on the field for.
I only played center and D end.
Only. 2 big positions, but only. Okay. All right, getting ready for kickoff here for Kittnersville, Walter T. Rohrer Stadium. So glad you could join us here on PSD TV. I want to thank Brian Gilbert. It's our 7th year of live streaming here at Palisades. From 2018, we've had more than 60 students take part in these live streams. We'll be back at it on Tuesday and Wednesday with girls soccer against Saucon Valley and boys soccer against Plumstead Christian. So we're excited. The other thing I'm excited about is back here is, hey, how about the new uniforms? They look pretty good because we can see them. So Blake
Ogalero
has it on, and that gets down to the 3-yard line. We'll see him playing soccer as well, and a good start here for we'll pop in the defense here as you take a look at it.
Matthew Castelline, defensive tackle, Tinicum Elementary School.
Ryan Maycourt, D tackle, Springfield Elementary School.
Carter Kilfner, DN, Springfield Elementary.
Silas Day, DN, Springfield Elementary.
Solomon Riddle, linebacker, Durham Elementary.
Chase Smith, linebacker, D Knox Elementary.
Max Warner, linebacker, Durham Elementary.
Ashton Fitzgerald, cornerback, D Springfield Elementary.
Lincoln Cook, corner.
All right, we're underway. See if we can get the rest of these guys in there.
Tinicum Elementary. Mason Schultz, safety, the Durham Elementary.
Jack Traquel, safety, the Durham Nockamixon Elementary.
All right, something different we're doing. All right, back to action here. Trying to do 3 things at one time. And see, hopefully everyone heard that at home. We didn't hear it in our headsets, but Brian's got that under control. Ball sits at the 6-yard line for the Blue Bombers from Palmerton. And they'll roll near side, thrown in our direction, and that one is complete, and that will be across for a first down all the way up towards the 15, up towards the 17-yard line. Reception made by Vincent Tagliari. So they're talking about having 2 different quarterbacks in there. TJ Weller and Tim Gursky. It looks like Gursky's got the start. I think we're going to see both of them coming in. So we'll see what happens there. But a good start from them. And you guys got them pinned down. It's something that you don't want them to, get themselves out. That was a big play for Palmerton.
Yeah.
So the ball sits at the 19-yard line. First down and 10 here for Gursky. And Gursky they'll try to attack the ground and nowhere to go as Silas Day decided to just take him right down.
These big hits, man, they just help with these stops, especially in the first part of the game. It really sets a tone for Palisades. This is really going to help them pick up the game. And as these stops keep hitting, if they can keep holding down Palmerton, or as Palmerton picks up, it's just gonna build the energy for Palisades and really help them shut them down.
So just underway, about 2 minutes into the game. And I bring up a second down and 11. The ball sits at the 18-yard line. Gursky's going to roll to the far side. Here comes the pressure again. Almost gets taken out and now does. So I had a couple chances. The ball gets loose and it's picked up. for the touchdown. I didn't see who grabbed it. So 9:50. So it looks like they're getting credit to Matt Casterline. And talking about, we were just talking about, you said make the big play first. I'm gonna get a whistle here. Make the big play first. They did, and now all of a sudden, things started to change there. As Casterline picked it up, went in for about 3-4 yards.
It's just going to build the energy up for Palisades. Sets the tone off the start of the game. Everything that happens at the beginning only builds.
That comes at the 9:50 mark for Pirates. Aguilera has it on the tee. Waiting for the extra point here. Jack Jaquel is holding. And that one is up, and that one is through. And with 9:50 on the clock, Palisades strikes first on a fumble recovery by Matt Casterline to make it 7-0. Talk about a quick start.
Yeah, that's a great way to start the game. Definitely has them feeling good. Hopefully they can keep it up.
Yeah, there's nothing that can build a better start than that. Now they're going to go out on a kick return, and they're going to be fired up, ready to go. Hopefully we can get a good drive on this ball back with the energy that they're carrying after that quick score.
All right, take me into Bobby Smith, Coach Smith, and how he gets guys. He really gets you guys fired up, in the huddle in different places, because he definitely gets motivated. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's got energy. Sometimes he doesn't even know how he can even show it. He's a crazy guy. He'll scream, he'll yell, and then 2 seconds later he'll be locked in looking at the field.
Yeah, tapping on the back. Good job. Everything's good. All right, so just like that, 2 minutes 10 seconds. Palisades has the lead by a score of 7-0. Glad you could join us here on PSD TV, and this will be returned from the 10-yard line. I'm going to big stick again. And Palisades bringing the defense here on special teams. Coaches always talk about, offense, defense, special teams. And, sometimes people take special teams for granted for a while. They're like, no, we just want to see them throw the ball or an INT for a pick six. But you throw in that special teams, especially even when you get a good kicker. We see a player going off the field never got to the field. And I believe that was Vincent Taglieri. And that's the last guy you want to lose. He's the guy that we highlighted in our open. He's got 355 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. And he also has 18 receptions for 173 yards. So, again, hopefully he's just cramping, and but that's pretty early in the process. So hopefully that just goes away there and doesn't linger on the rest of the way, because those cramps can get really, annoying if that's all it is. Glad you could join us here from Walter T. Rohrer Stadium. 20 League football action. We are into week number 7. Hard to believe that we have reached this point in the season, but we have indeed done that. Al DiCarlo, Toby Witt, Luke Stangs. So glad you could join us here. I want to thank Brian Gilbert again for getting us ready here for the live stream and putting us in position to give the fans at home a chance to watch. And I'm not so sure if this is. I think this is. Didn't see what happened from our angle. So he did get a hit. So hopefully as they tend to him, he's okay. Pop up the schedules for these two teams, because it gets a little interesting here for Palmerton. And we almost had a ball. What was that? No, I could have caught that one. I never got that close. Palmerton will be at Salisbury next week, then Notre Dame, and then at Catasauqua to end the season. And Palisades will be at Notre Dame, then back home for 2 games, Wilson and Salisbury. All right, so Palmerton gets back at it. Now without one of their key players, so we'll see how they do offensively. And they start on the ground, but nowhere to go. Solid stay in there. As one of the players.
Silas Day and Chase Smith in on that tackle.
Chase Smith and Silas Day with the tackle for loss. Loss of 2. Second down and 12. Ball on the
So 2 yards on the loss for Palmerton, trying to just get something going. They had that one play early that they ended up getting the first down, but from there, they've really been shut down by the Pirates. All right, different quarterback in there, and it's TJ Weller. Weller going to throw from the back foot. That one incomplete. Again, I think we're going to see both of these guys throughout. Now, one guy that's missing from the lineup, I mean, there's injuries on both sides, but one guy that's missing from the lineup and is a huge miss is Logan Anthony. Logan Anthony's going to Rutgers. He's 6'3", 320 as a senior. He's a big-time player, and he's, likely out for the rest of the season. So he'll, get ready and rehab and get back to action to get over to Rutgers. But I'm sure you've seen him before. He's a big boy.
I believe I'm sure Palmerton's that's a big loss there, and something hard to come back from and recover with someone that important missing out on the team.
Yeah. Sometimes you say, well, it's just one player, but when it's one player of that magnitude, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, especially the mindset that people can bring to the team.
So we're only 3 minutes in, and this game is starting like a crawl pace right now, the way it's been going. We have yet to see the Palisades offense make their way on the field. Like I said, it's only 3 minutes, but it feels like it's been so much longer. And try to get some yards on the ground, and they do. And they'll move the chains, and they'll get a first down.
ball is carried by Tony Weller.
So I think you're going to see a couple different players in there as well. So Palmerton gets up to the 35-yard line. Interesting with the playoffs this year in the 2, 3, I hope I get this right, 2, 3, 4, and 6 class. 8 teams get in. We used to see only 4 get in, but now it's 8 teams getting in those classifications. Looking to throw. Nothing there. Now taking off is Weller. Weller makes a turn up field. He gets taken down right around the 40, 41-yard line after a good pickup on first down.
Ball is carried by number 5, Tony Weller. The tackle made by number 15, Max Warner.
4 minutes into the game, 7-0. If you're just joining us here on PSD TV, Matt Casterline picked up a fumble and went in for the short touchdown. That came at the 9:50 mark. We're now the 7:50 mark. The ball sits at the 41-yard line. They hand that one off, and right now the offense is doing a good job moving the ball effectively.
Ball is carried by number 25.
So that's Caleb Sagastumi for the first down. Your thoughts here in the early going?
You can see on that last play that the Palmerton offense was trying to get the Palisades defense to jump off sides, but that's one thing that we always practice great on was the discipline and the plays and everything and not going off sides.
Low snap. And then they may have halted him there a little bit. Sometimes those snaps, they just a little bit different from where you put it, inside. That changes everything, the dynamics, as that one went to hands of Michael Gary.
Yeah, when you practice one thing over and over again, then you get one tossed off to the side, it really throws you for a loop.
So down to inside 7 minutes on the clock. Palisades with a 7-0 lead. Again, their offense have yet to make their way onto the field despite the lead. After Tim Gursky started the game, it's Weller that's been in the game. They go 4 receivers, 2 on either side. Has time to throw, now puts one up in traffic. That's dangerous, and that one's intercepted.
By number 3, Jack Turkel.
So Turkel gets the INT. He'll go out of bounds. So Turkel with the INT. And we're going to pop in the offense.
Matthew Castelline, right guard, Tinicum Elementary School.
Ron Tharp, right tackle, Tinicum Elementary.
Will Cap, center, Tinicum Elementary.
Chase Smith, guard, D. Knox Elementary.
Carter Kilfner, left tackle, Springfield Elementary.
Sal Stay, tight end, Springfield Elementary. Max Warner, running back, Durham Elementary.
Ashton Fitzgerald, running back, the Springfield Elementary.
Mason Schultz, wide receiver, the Durham Elementary. Lincoln Cook, wide receiver, the Tinicum Elementary.
Jack Turkel, quarterback, the Durham Knock'em
Schultz.
Mixon Elementary.
All right, you were saying?
I was saying one thing you don't see so often is someone as important as Jack Turkel being our starting quarterback. He's out there playing defense, getting that pick. But with his football intelligence, he's a very valuable player on defense as well, which you don't see quite as often with quarterbacks.
So we get a penalty here on Palisades. We'll move the ball back.
Ball will be marked back at the Pirate 39.
When you guys are in season, and for announcers, we always say, wow, it's hard to believe it's week 7. It's hard to believe it's week 5. Do you guys realize that as you do it, that it goes so fast? Or when you guys are in the season, it doesn't go as fast?
It doesn't go as fast in the season. I think a main part of that is you're working every single day of the week. So it's a lot slower working through the week than it is as we see just a Friday night game that pops around every week.
Turkel puts that one on the ground. And there's a lot of speed on this team as well. That was Ashton Fitzgerald, but that 4x100 team between Lincoln Cook and Silas Day, Ashton Fitzgerald, and Grayson George. They won districts. They finished 4th in the state. So you got some quick guys out there. So if Jack's going to throw the ball, there's some guys out there that can catch. Luke, talk about this being a concern. Back-to-back penalties for Palisades.
It's definitely not good for the mind. And it's definitely tough to get back from it.
All right, so now I want you to take me through the timeout. What's going on here? Trying to just talk to his players and say, guys, settle down? Or
Yeah, he's mostly just telling us what to do, how to relax.
Sometimes easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
So if you're just joining us here on PSTV TV, the only goal, score of the game, I'd say goal because I was here for field hockey. Matt Castelline picked up a fumble recovery, went in for the short touchdown. That came at the 9:50 mark to make it 7-0. Jack Turkel that came back on defense and had the INT. And this is their first possession of the game offensively for the Pirates. Again, the Pirates next week will be at Notre Dame. I had a chance to see Notre Dame against Northern Lehigh a couple weeks back, and they're a pretty good football team. One thing different about Notre Dame this year than years past is they have a defense, and that's key. Sometimes they always go through those long passes and everything else, but they can't stop a team. Now they do have a team that can stop defensively. For Palmerton, they will be at Palisades next week, and then go to have Notre Dame at home, and then finish things off with Catasauqua. Nice crowd on hand here for homecoming. Saw Principal Rich Heffernan in the house as well. So 6 minutes exactly on the clock here from Walter T. Rohrer Stadium. First down marker, if you're wondering, is at the 46-yard line of Palmerton. So it was a long way off. Obviously, you don't have to get it all at one shot. Turkel from the gun. Going to roll on the near side. Now looks and didn't see the defender come flying through. He came in unscathed, and a great play by Michael Gary, the 5'9", 175-pound sophomore. So 3 negative plays in a row for Palisades. They're seeing themselves go back.
Yeah, it's definitely not great for their headspace, but it looks like they're going to punt. Hopefully they can get down there and regroup on their defense, which has done great so far. So maybe that'll help pick them back up for their next offensive drive.
That one goes straight up. Let's see where it bounces and which way it goes. It takes a positive bounce for a second for Palisades, but if you're Palmerton, you had bad field position to start things off, and you get the ball back here, and now you're sitting at the 35-yard line. That's got to, Coach Wakowiak's got to be pleased of having this opportunity here, with the penalties and then with the big defensive play, had the ball in a good field position to start things off on this drive. Again, we'll see who's in there at quarterback, and I didn't see if Taglieri, he's back in, number 10. That's a good sign. He was the one that was dinged up earlier. Well, they stay on the ground and power through by Gary. Gary gets a couple across the 35, down to about the 33-yard line. 5:35 on the clock in a game that started kind of interestingly, if that's a word. And they like to keep this on the ground. They'll gain a few more, pop through across the 30, down to about the 29-yard line. They inch closer to that first down where they mark this one. So Gary has had the chunk of the carries here. Came in with 30 carries for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's been averaging 6.5 yards on a carry. Third down. That's Gursky going to throw, and Gursky's going to complete the pass right at that first down marker into the hands of Gavin Mikesell. And they will move the chains for a first down. What have you seen there in the last couple plays?
Palmerton really stepping it up from the first start of the game. Obviously, with Palisades struggling there on their offensive drive, that's probably helping build them up. And then they got a good position for their second offensive drive, or is that their third at this point?
Yeah.
So this is definitely helping Palmerton step it up.
So they get the ball here, and they keep it on the ground, and it's been a lot of number 24, and that's Gary. Continues, and he gets that one down to the 16-yard line. And Luke, what do you always say? When the running games work, and just keep pounding and keep going until they stop you, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get 7 on the play. They can get a first down. Depending on where they get this play here, they may have an opportunity to not have to run. Oh. That one closer, maybe down to about the 15-yard line. So it brings up an interesting third down. Interesting tonight, and this is where we'll start bringing it up right here. There's 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Palmerton, unfortunately, doesn't have a kicker tonight. They have a kicker. I'm not sure who's going to be, because they have a couple soccer players, and they had a game against Notre Dame tonight. So they were warming up different players at a time. So obviously, no matter where the ball is here, it may not be a field goal attempt. It may be, you're going anyway. And I think this position you probably could. Looking to throw. Throws it to the near side, and that reception's made to Benjamin Negley. And Negley will move the chains for a first down. And this is what I was saying earlier. They can get another first down about the 2. They don't have to necessarily score. But right now, one thing Palmerton's been doing is really taking time off that clock and playing their kind of game. So 2:34 on the clock. Palisades up 7-0, but Palmerton knocking on the door. We'll actually mark this one at the 11. And we'll lose a yard or so there. That was Chase Smith, I think, first guy in. Actually, it's Carter Gilheffner. I have him at 50 on my roster, so he's 55. Is that correct? See, that's what changing on the fly on the roster. You gave me the wrong guy.
Well, Carter, not normally this year. Little switch up with some guys that wouldn't normally play offensive line that are now there, so their numbers are changed from what they normally would be.
Flying across and making a huge play with Silas Day. And all of a sudden, Palmerton was going strong there. The clock's down to 1:33 in the first quarter, and it's a third down and long situation. Again, they could get down to about the 1 for a first down. Interesting call here. They'll go with one receiver near side, two to the far side. They're going to try to get it up the middle, powering through and getting down to the 5 is Sagastumi. So Sagastumi gets it to the 5. So now you get a manageable fourth down situation here. As far as run pass, it's been almost 90% run on this drive.
That's what they tried a couple passes. That one, Palisades scored a touchdown off of it, so that might have spooked them away, but this run has been working out for them, and they're sticking with it.
So fourth down from the 5-yard line for Tim Gursky. And getting that one back and going to be short. Back in the game is Vincent Tagliari. So Palisades will take over. How big of a defensive stop was that, guys?
That was important. That was big. They worked their way down the field pretty good. They had some consistent runs going, gained 3 or 4 yards, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if you hold 3 or 4 yards every play, that adds up, and that'll get you down the field. But Palisades came in and put a stop to it right there at the end. So hopefully they can pick up their offense and work their way down the field.
And now Palisades is put in a position where Palmerton was to start the game, inside their, 5-yard line to start things off.
Yeah, they don't have room to go back like they did with their last offensive drive, so hopefully they can dig their cleats in the dirt and work their way forward.
So start things off from the 5-yard line. Traquel under center. And on the ground they go. Just trying to give a little extra room in there. And they may run one more play here as quarter that wasn't moving earlier is moving pretty quick with all those run plays by Palmerton. I think they have to run one. Well, not necessarily. So 10 seconds on the play on the clock here in the first quarter. Traquel has snapped this one, and he's going to pitch it across. And no flag there. Thought maybe we saw a face mask. They don't say no. 1 quarter in the books, 7-0 Palisades. We'll be back after this. You're watching PSD TV. So there was a face mask called. So untimed down here to end the quarter. Come near side on the pass play today, and that goes in and out of his hands. And now that will end the first quarter. Well, while we're here anyway, and since we already took our little break, guys, let's go one by one. Thoughts of the first quarter to this point, 7-0. Toby, start with you. Your thoughts.
Very slow game. Palmerton had a little slip up there. That's where these 7 points came from, but it's looking pretty even. Game's not really settled in yet. Nobody has their mojo going. There were on and off plays from both Palisades and Palmerton, so nothing's really set in stone yet. We can't see too much going on, but we can expect it to pick up soon.
Looks like Palmerton found a good time with the run game, but then every now and then Palisades learns to stop it.
One thing, yeah, and the penalties, though, I mean, really for both teams. I mean, you look at Palisades had back-to-back ones when they had the ball at the 35-yard line, and then, you look at Palmerton right now, right before the end of that quarter, you have them pinned inside the 8-yard line, and you get that face mask on that last play before really the end of the quarter. So those are the ones that really, get coaches going and, players as well. If you make that penalty, you're like, and it could be, but those are when they're 15-yarders or even, more crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, 15 yards can have a big set in the game.
And as we just start the second quarter, we get a false start on Palisades. How frustrating is that for Coach Smith? I see him running down the sideline. He's not happy.
Yeah, and it's also hard for the players because obviously nobody means to make a mistake. In the pressure of the game, you're ready to go. You don't want to wait for the snap of the ball. You want to get across that line of scrimmage and get to work, but it's hard. You got to stay locked in through the game and work as a team.
So the only scoring in the first quarter came from Matt Castelline and had a fumble recovery for the touchdown. That came at the 9:50 mark. They made it 7-0. Jack Trickell had a big INT. And Palisades made a stop at the 5-yard line. Here, underway. Here we go. Trickell going to put this one up. Looking, has a receiver, and just off the fingertips of Lincoln Cook. He put the ball right where it had to be, though.
That was right there.
Cook knows it. He's like, just give me that one again. They're going to go back to that.
Lincoln was well passed, and Lincoln has a lot of speed. He's a very fast kid. So with where he was at, if that pass stuck to his hands, he would have been down the field.
So this is the time of year when you start looking for scores that become a big factor when it comes to, districts and everything else. And as we get them, we'll pass them along. This one goes in near side, and I think there was a miscommunication. Palisades, they weren't even ready here on the near side. Both receivers, I don't think, saw anything coming.
No, I don't know what happened there, but clearly the play was not well understood between all the players. And
well, just like that, it's fourth down for the Pirates. You mentioned rhythm before, and there has been really none. This one's going to be fielded and picked up by Alexander Kuiper, and Kuiper gets drilled on the play. Didn't go anywhere, lost some yards, and making that play was Cook. Again, we get back to that special teams and how big that is, but, good field position here for Palmerton.
Absolutely. Great work getting down there on Lincoln Cook's part. He flew down the field and very tall, high punt gave him time to get down.
So we've seen a couple changes of possessions in this contest so far. If you're just joining us here on PST TV, but Palisades maintaining with a 7-0 lead. And that came just, off a fumble recovery. Other than that, I mean, no team really has, if anything, Palmerton had put a drive together all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, you can see Palmerton's doing good with their offense. They're just driving the ball right down the middle.
And Tagliari will get about 11 yards for the first down. So, again, he was down for a while there in the first quarter, but, it looks like he's fine and no issues for him moving forward. homecoming night here for the Pirates. First down from the Pirates' 45-yard line and straight through the middle, and a great run. Really never even been touched on that one was Michael Gary. Looks like Palmerton's starting to get, we talk about maybe going to the outside, but the interior part of the line, they've been controlling that.
Yeah. Their run's been doing good. It's been working for them in there. They're sticking with it.
Yeah, going up the middle.
Yeah, you got some big linemen there as well. I mean, again, we talked about, their big cog not there, but that being said, they still have other guys in the mix. Tagliari goes to the far side, makes the turn. He could be troubled, but Dave takes him down, and then another flag is thrown in that direction. Ooh, a lot of flags tonight.
Hopefully they get him out of the way early and clean this game up.
There's no doubt it's been. I mean, again, this is the second drive for Palmerton that they're driving down the field. Palisades has yet to do anything like that. Wait for this call.
Yeah, it seems like Palmerton kind of switched it up on these last two runs and started bouncing it to the outside. They kind of getting away from the middle.
Well, they bounced it to the outside, but they end up moving themselves back to the 45-yard line on a holding call. And back in there, quarterback is TJ Weller. How tough is it defensively when you have two different quarterbacks that you're looking at?
It's definitely tough to read each guy.
Yeah, with quarterbacks, I mean, I've only ever played with one quarterback, but you know your quarterback, and that's a very important player on your team, and it can be hard to switch unless maybe these two quarterbacks are very similar and they think alike, but that can be a very difficult thing to get over as a team.
Well, Day's been the difference so far tonight defensively. He's been all over the place, and we were talking about that, and they lined up. You knew they were blitzing. They were coming right through. They had everybody there. I thought they maybe had too many players on that side because they were bringing everybody.
That's one thing. Coach Smith isn't afraid to send a bunch of guys in. If he knows they'll get there and make a tackle, he'll send them.
So, again, that first down, by the way, is all the way down to the 25-yard line. Ball at their own 48-yard line. We'll try to get some of this back via the run. Nothing there. This time up the middle by Sagastuwi. And this brings up another big third down here for the Pirates. So one thing with Palmerton, they're not in no hurry whatsoever. I mean, they're just going at their pace. But now the question is, I mean, to air this up, that's a long way. They're going to call a timeout, I think. So this, you're in this situation here. You call the timeout. Looking where it's at, do you say to yourself, well, we're going to either go for a run. If we get a long run, then we can make a decision. Or, go for a pass play, and then if we don't get it, we're just going to punt regardless where we're at. There's choices here what they can do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for the run because they've been sticking with it and it's been working. Obviously, they had a few mess-ups that set them back to here, but they haven't been passing much. They tried maybe 2 or 3 times, and Palisades did a good job of shutting it down. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try and go for an outside run and see if they can't get a little closer before they decide to make a whole game plan on this last play for this drive and see if they can't get a first down and keep it going.
And it seems at the same time, you're talking about the run, the way the run game is going. They tried to get to the outside. They couldn't on that last play. But the middle part of the field has been really their bread and butter so far anyway. And that could change. That could change quickly. And right now, Palisades does not want them to get anything. So we'll see what they do here. Again, you're in a position where you're thinking, all right, well, if I don't get anything here, I'm punting regardless. But if you get a good run, depending on where it's at, I mean, talking about you have to get down to probably the 30 to make that kind of decision.
We also have to keep in mind the fact that they're unsure of what their situation is with a kicker, and their best bet might be trying to go for a runner pass. We don't know. We haven't seen what they have for a punter yet.
So Max Werner comes in, as you say that, one of the seniors, he pops in. So you said there have not been that many pass plays. Every pass play they've had so far tonight, Palisades has been on the ball. They've been like right on their attacking there. So that has to be a big concern for Coach Wakowiak moving forward in this game, knowing, hey, our running game has been consistent, but from there, that one, again, that was number 12, Benjamin Negley. Again, I'm not sure, if he was the guy just picked out of the bunch or just, you saw the pressure coming in from Palisades. But, I was given no kicker and no punter, whether they were the same or not. The two players that are soccer players, have a game tonight, and they couldn't be here tonight. So Coach knew that this was going to be a struggle one way or the other. You mentioned it before, depending on your kicker, where you're going to be, but now you're punting also, and the punt went.
And that was one situation where you'd surely want a punter. They had a long stretch on a fourth down, and they would have wanted to get that ball away, and did not work out in their favor.
No, not at all. And now Palisades, with their best possession of the game here, sitting at the 39-yard line. So here's Trikel. And Trikel will go on the ground.
Max Warner's still up.
It's always nice to see there where you think, you're going to go into a bunch of white jerseys, but your feet keep going. If you keep going, it gets you an extra couple yards. And then you got to remember, if you're 6 foot tall, whatever, that's a little more stretch as well.
Yeah, every inch counts on the football field. It's a big field, but inch by inch you can work your way down. And that's one thing Max Warner carried the ball there. He'll do. He's got the football heart in him, and he'll work his way down the field with everything he's got.
So down to the 8-minute mark of the second quarter, 7-0 is your score. Trikel goes with trips to the near side, one up top. He's looking to the near side. Now he gets flushed out. Has a little extra time. Now throw it, and that will be, I think he caught made the catch. I'm not sure if he made that catch. Yeah, that was incomplete. He was looking in the direction of Warner. There was a couple of Palisades players on that side of the field. And just like that, we're sitting at a third down situation here for the Pirates. And despite the 7-0 lead for the Pirates, and I'll get your thoughts after this play, they have not really had that consistency running down the field. A touchdown here, really sparked the crowd up a little bit. Trikel turns and now off his back foot, now makes a U-turn, but there's a lot of room on that far side. If he can get it down that way, he does. He looks for Cook, and that one instead is intercepted. That was Alexander Kuiper. So that comes at the 7:32 mark. Talk about that play, big play, obviously defensively for Palmerton.
Yeah, it was a big play for Palmerton, expecting for Palisades to pick it up there. But that's a tough play because Jack didn't have anybody to go to, and he ended up pushing himself really far back on the field and kind of hucked it up there, and there were two guys on Lincoln Cook, and they got there first.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough for Palisades to come back from that. Definitely hard in the mental game.
Hey, you look at that, and obviously there's a player down the field at the same time. 7:32 on the clock, 7-0 to score. It takes, and I was just saying, you try to get the crowd back into it because the crowd really hasn't been able to cheer for anything right at this point. Aside that, the fumble recovery for the touchdown. If you're Palmerton right now, with 7 minutes on the clock, you're in an opportunity here where you can get your game. You're in the game, and you're in a position here to really take some momentum into the locker room, depending on how long the drive is, because they've been controlling the clock as well during their possession.
Yeah, they're in no rush. They're taking their time figuring out the plays, and thinking it through, trying to figure out what's going to work for them.
Now the 3D division, one more year left with the Schuylkill Colonial League. Suddenly I remains undefeated with Northwestern as well. In the white division, these two teams are in the white division, Palisades and Palmerton. And then the blue division, Schuylkill Haven, has been tremendous, tremendous this year. And more importantly, the district standings, again, 8 teams get in this year rather than 9. Palmerton's sitting there at number 8 right now with the 2 wins. There's a couple other teams in there with 2 wins. Notre Dame, Green Pond, and Northwestern at 6-0 going into tonight's game. Schuylkill Haven at 6-0 on that far side, with Palisades sitting there at 4-2. Right now it's slotted in the 4th position. I think opportunities there with Williams Valley and Penargil in front of them. Back to game action here. Can they continue to change their quarterback? Try to make their way upfield. And not much there on the carry by Gary, but he's been getting the majority of the carries since Tagliari got dinged up there a little bit. But we also have noticed that he's back in the game. It looks like he's at full strength. We haven't seen anything after he went out of the game early in the first quarter that says otherwise. So inside 7 minutes. Middle part of the field, and good job of the Pirates hanging in there. I think Warner was one of the guys in there defensively for the Pirates, and just like that, it brings up a 3rd down here for Palisades. For Palmerton. So when we saw earlier in the last couple drives, that middle part has been, positive. The last 2 out of 3 plays have been a little negative.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, especially they're giving it to one guy. They're feeding him the ball over and over, and he's gonna get worn out. It's a lot of work running up through the middle with that many guys. You have to push through. It's a lot of work.
Yep, he's going to try to do it again here and cannot. And then the punting unit, I think, will come out. It will.
And especially as Palisades starts to figure out, if they keep running the middle and doing it over and over, Palisades is going to see what's coming. They're going to figure out what's going to stop them until Palmerton decides to switch it up.
So Palisades almost got the ball on the last punt. Let's see if they come after it here. Again, you don't want to get a penalty. And for Palmerton, you just want to get this off. This is Negley, takes the high snap. And that one goes off the side of his foot. And he'll get a bunch of those yards will come back, maybe 7 yards back to about the 38-yard line. So we have not moved from this part of the field in the last 6 minutes of the game. It's 5:16 left in the half, and we've been sitting right around the 35, 40-yard line for about 10 minutes.
Palisades is in a beautiful spot right now with a 1st and 10, but they need to get their offense rolling. We're almost wrapping up on the backside of the second quarter here, and Palisades, even though they're up with 7, they still haven't gotten their offense going yet. If anything, Palmerton's offense has been dominating more than Palisades, and they need to start picking it up if they expect to carry this game in the second half and everything.
So they'll take over here with 5:16 on the clock. From the 45. And Turkel fakes it one way and tries to go forward. He'll get a flag on the play as he makes the turn and still roaming upfield to about the 18-yard line. And this one may come back. And look, I was going to ask you this question, is coming into that drive right there, here you're up 7-0, your Palisades. Palmerton has the ball. We had mentioned, they can go down if they can, a long drive, go in the locker room, you're tied at 7. Instead, they give the ball back. A 14-0 lead, it sounds like a huge lead in a game like this.
Yeah, it would definitely be great for them, especially coming back in the second half with the ball.
Yes, a lead like that would definitely help keep the energy alive in the locker room, but it's it's all up to Palisades and Palmerton and how they're going to play. Palisades, they keep getting a lot of penalties against them, and there they finally had a good drive. That was one of their first few good drives, and now it's just gone because of lack of discipline on some of those plays, and it's really showing.
Yeah, right now they really just need to clear their head, get in the right mental space, and keep it going.
The penalties keep hurting both of these two teams. We're down to the 5-minute mark. Really haven't got Lincoln Cook the ball in his direction. Fitzgerald. And it's Turkel. Turkel tries to power through the middle, nowhere to go. First down marker is down to about the 30-yard line. They threw that one pass play to Lincoln Cook. It was just out of his reach. And we said, no, we figured he's going to go back there eventually.
Yeah, Lincoln's a big playmaker. He's a very important player on this team, and if Jack and him can work together and make a couple plays happen, that'll really help Palisades out and can very easily change this score.
So 4:17 on the clock. Turkel has a receiver. He's looking for Cook, and Cook gets his hand on it and gets inside the 10. First and goal just like that.
As we were
for
just
the Pirates.
speaking of, Lincoln and Jack can make some big plays, and that's going to be huge for Palisades, really helping them out there.
So in week 3, both of these players had a monster week. Turkel went for 361 and broke a school record. He also had 4 passing touchdowns. That was a school record. He's currently 6th in districts in passing, and Lincoln Cook leads all district with 41 receptions coming in, 103 in his career. And they will go on the ground. It's Fitzgerald trying to see if he can spin out of there. Gets down to about the 5-yard line.
Fitzgerald on the carry, Holston and Rusica on the stop, gain of 2.
So the Pirates in business with 3:30 on the clock and a 7-0 lead.
They're going to have to carry this momentum and punch this in for the touchdown if they got a couple minutes left to get this in.
They go 3 receivers far side, 1 to the near side. Turkel fakes, and now Turkel has a little seam, and he will go in for the touchdown. So Turkel for a 5-yard score, and Palisades increases their lead. That comes with 3:08 on the clock. Ogliaro is in there for the extra point. And Turkel's going to throw far side, and that one incomplete. So they change the formation there a little bit, try to catch everyone off guard. Sometimes they run back in and decide to throw that one anyway.
Yeah, that's a big thing. We practice that a lot. Muddle huddle, trying to throw the defense off and trick them a little bit to try and confuse them and get an easy punch in there.
All right, Luke, take us through now. You got 3 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock. What Palmerton needs to do right here to get back in it, because you mentioned before, Palisades gets the ball coming out.
Yeah, right now Palmerton really needs a good drive. They definitely need to score before the end of the half.
I think momentum is the biggest thing going in the locker room. Even if you don't score, but you're driving your Palmerton, it's good because, you're down 14-0. The last thing that you want to do, though, if you're Palmerton, is give the ball right back.
Absolutely.
Because you give the ball right back and Palisades punches in, then all of a sudden, the game's in a different situation.
Yeah, even if their score is not looking great going into the locker room, if they can have a good mentality and show that they're still they're still playing good, that's a great way to go in.
All right, this bill picked up at the 8-yard line and taken there by Kuiper. And Kuiper still moves forward across the 25-yard line. Well, they mark him right around the 25-yard line. And if you're watching us here Friday night for football here in week number 7, we'll be back action here with our live streaming on Tuesday. Girls soccer with a huge match against Saucon Valley. Both those teams right in the thick of things when it comes to districts and where they're going to position themselves, also for the Colonial League tournament as well. And then on Wednesday, back out here again for boys soccer against Plumstead Christian. The field hockey team beat Plumstead Christian the other night. Now 3 minutes on the clock. Palmerton down by a score of 13-0. And this time they'll come to the near side. It's the first time really they've run this play, and it has worked. Down the sidelines. And Tagliari, we said he was dinged up earlier and not there. He gets all the way down to the 28-yard line. Biggest run of the game for either team.
That's a big play for Palmerton, especially we only got 2 minutes and 53 seconds left until halftime, and if they can get this in before half, it's gonna be a great mindset for them going to the locker room.
Yeah, that play definitely tricked Palisades going on the outside run.
Yeah, clock at 2:42. And they keep it with number 10. This time Palisades not fooled. And I think both of you guys have mentioned, the interior part of the line for Palisades has really stepped up and taken away that part. And they decided to go this way, so a little bit different.
Yeah, Silas is a big, strong kid in there, and he's really helping putting these stops when they try and get up the outside. And these linebackers are playing smart and trying to get down in there and help out the line. It also makes it a lot easier on them when they don't even really have to worry about the pass that much right now. They can be very focused on this run, which helps stop it.
Down to 2 minutes on the clock. Tagliari again has it. Tries the power forward. First guy in there was Trakel. Third down, you're going third and fourth here because we talked about the kicker, so there's not even a question. And the score being the score, a 13-0 lead right now seems like it's a 40-0 lead. It just seems like that much of a difference because of this type of game right now. But you score a touchdown, that changes everything.
Yeah, the score's moving up slow, so a little bit goes a long way here. And even with only about a minute left on the clock, they're still taking their time with their plays.
Ball from the 20-yard line, and a good opening there, and going down inside the 1. Do they give it to him? No, they'll mark him down at the 1-yard line. A great run there by Sagastumi. So first and goal here for Palmerton with 1:07 on the clock. So Palmerton knocking at the door with 52 seconds on the clock. Again, trying to take as much time off the clock as they can. In their quarterback is TJ Weller. And Weller gives that one up. And no signal yet. There it is. A 1-yard touchdown run by Vinny Tagliari. So Palmerton gets their first touchdown of the game. And just like that, they're right back in the mix. I'm guessing they're going to go for 2 here. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah, with no kicker and based off how those punts went, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they went for 2 on these.
Going for 2, but surprised, even Palisades, they went for 2 where maybe they didn't have to.
Yeah.
13-6. They roll near side. Now throws that one a little high and incomplete. And it remains 13-6, coming at the 39-second mark. Luke, how does that change things here?
It's definitely great for Palmerton. And it's definitely be rough for Palisades to come back from that at the half.
Yeah, we always say you go in the locker room, you want to have some momentum. Now, again, I think Palisades has a couple timeouts left. They do. It depends on the run back. Now, I believe they haven't really kicked off yet, right? You're going to see the kickoff here for Palmerton, and kind of if you can get a run back.
Yeah, we'll see how fired up Palisades is off this return, and see they don't have much time, but if they can make a good run back on kick return, there's obviously a possibility that they can get the score up one more before the half goes in, and that would boost them up a lot. But with where Palmerton's sitting, they got some good motivation going for this halftime, and that's really going to help them out coming out and trying to pick things up in the second half.
I think that big run there by Tagliari just, showed them, hey, we ran in the middle, they got us back, but we ran outside and finally, got it on the, onto the outside, and he had a big run. So they will kick it off, and let's see. That's Negley. And this one is picked up at the 10-yard line. So now a play like this, depending, seeing where the run back was right there, you'll probably take a run. And if you get a good yardage, then you'll bang a timeout. If it's not, then you can just, probably just go in the locker room at that point.
Yeah, that was a good play for Palisades, though, with him bumping out of bounds. They didn't have to use a timeout on that. So now I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to try and pass and go big here and try and get
you're
it
going
down.
big, huh? You're going big. All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're going to try and do with a little bit of time left on the clock. But we will see.
Actually, I thought it was further than where they put it. They have it at the 26. I thought he got to 30. All right, Traquel from his own 26 with 33 seconds on the clock. Fitzgerald in motion far side. The R&D going to throw, and they're going to get the Cook. He's going to roll out of bounds. Getting those little quick passes, and you can use the outside, and you have number 18 on your side. That's huge.
Absolutely. If they can keep these passes going, this will be great through the game. They're quick, easy way to get down to the other end of the field, and definitely a lot less work than running it, and saves a lot of time, especially if they can get out of bounds and save these timeouts for when they get down near the end zone. That'll really help them out.
Yeah, 29 seconds with those two timeouts. It's the big ones. First down marker is at the 47 after that reception made. They'll get him again to Cook, see if he can make a move. And Cook gets out of bounds after solid yard. I thought I saw a flag. Did I? Yeah, there was. I saw it, but I don't know where it went. These penalties have been killers, really, for both teams. Now that we'll bring them back to 32 with 25 seconds left.
It's not what you want to see in these. When you're running out of time like this, you don't want to see the ball going backwards. That's not good for Palisades whatsoever, especially on the mind as well, knowing you're making mistakes, and now it's surely not the time.
I think the other thing, too, is you guys both mentioned, when you have a player like Lincoln Cook who can go get the ball, you can throw it downfield and, maybe get a pass interference call, or maybe, a big catch and run. They'll go three receivers far side. Here with 24 seconds, they'll just toss it in that direction and making the turn, and has some space, and will move the chains right on the chain. He's quick.
He's very, very quick and
elusive.
Yeah, and he's smart. He'll get out of bounds if in a situation like this where it's useful, and he'll find the ball and he'll get to it.
So 17 seconds, if you're wondering at home. Again, depending on how they play this, it's 13-6 Palisades with 17 seconds. Homecoming festivities coming up at the half. Traquel with two receivers on either side. Has time to throw. Now throws in the middle part of the field. It gets Cook again, and Cook almost got loose. They'll bang a timeout right here. So only 7 seconds came off that clock on that pass play inside the 40 down to about the 37, 38-yard line, depending on where they put this one. But he was that close to breaking that one.
Yeah, he was very close. If he got out without getting tripped up there, he had a pretty open field ahead of him, but he's touched the ground and play was over.
So nothing changing here. I mean, they're going to obviously keep throwing. You probably have 2 plays here, I would think. Maybe, one play, get yourself 10, 15 yards in a play, and then, see if you can take one towards the end zone. Or if you get in position, you kick a field goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Field goals help, and that might be hard for Palmerton tonight because if this game does end up being close, the game can easily come down to a field goal, and without a kicker, that can be a tough struggle.
Well, this is a big play here for both teams. Here with 10 seconds. Palmerton trying to stop and go in the locker room down 13-6. Palisades trying to complete another pass here. Traquel going to go to the near side, and that one incomplete. Was looking for Silas Day. And that's 6 seconds on the clock, so it's likely the last play. Again, they can go with a quick out and throw one into the end zone or in that range. Let's see. The Palisades will take their last time out to talk things over. What do you think, guys?
I think if we can get Lincoln Cook open, we could definitely get a score in.
Yeah, if there's one thing about Palisades, they're not going to give up here, and they're going to use these last 6 seconds and try and get that ball in, and they're going to give it everything they got.
So the type of, scenario where there's 6 seconds on the clock, do you come up with some kind of gadget play, some trick play, or you just go with
hit the bread and butter?
That's it.
Find what's been working and use it. Clearly getting the ball to Lincoln Cook, getting him out on these short little passes, and let him use his speed. You don't have to get him out on a far pass. You can let him use his speed and agility and get him a little bit open, and he'll work his way out through all through the defense and down towards the end zone.
Okay. Let's see what they decide to do here. Again, if you're just joining us, only scoring in this game, or the scoring now different. Matt Casterline, the fumble recovery for a touchdown for Palisades, went in from a few yards. That made it 7-0. That came at the 9:50 mark. A 5-yard touchdown by Jack Kell. That came at the 3:08 mark, made it 13-0. And Tagliari had a huge run first down to the 28-yard line, and eventually a 1-yard touchdown to make it 13-6. That's where we're at here. The ball sits at the 37-yard line for the Pirates with 6 seconds on the clock. Traquel, he's going to roll. And this is going to be the last play regardless, unless there's a penalty. And he's just going to put one up, see if someone gets that one. He was trying to throw it in the direction of Day. But 1/2 is in the books here from Walter T. Rohrer Stadium. And the Pirates will head into the locker room on homecoming night, leading by the score of 13-6. More action coming your way here on PSD TV. Stay tuned.
gentlemen, we would now like to introduce our 2025 homecoming court. These outstanding students have been nominated by their teachers and peers as individuals who truly embody Palisades pride. They demonstrate school spirit through active participation in athletics, music, clubs, and volunteer service. Each member of the court represents the qualities of leadership both in and out of the classroom and consistently shows respect for themselves, their peers, their teachers, and the wider community. Please join us in recognizing our 2025 homecoming court. First up, representing the 11th grade class is Jordan Bonelli. Jordan is the daughter of Jen Murray, John Bonelli, and Callie Bonelli, and is being escorted this evening by her parents. She resides in Tinkersville, Pennsylvania, and attended Tinicum Elementary School. Jordan is involved in varsity softball, Kids for Kindness, and the National Honor Society. Her future plans are to attend college to become an X-ray technician, as well as start a family and have 2 dogs. Jordan Bonelli. Next, we welcome Mitchell Hamilton. Mitchell is the son of Gregory and Martha Morgeson. He is being escorted this evening by his parents. He resides in Pipersville, Pennsylvania, and attended Tinicum Elementary School. Mitchell is a varsity baseball player and also attends technical school for diesel technology. His future plans are to enter the workforce, to regrow his family's business, and to one day have a family of his own. Mitchell Hamilton. Next up is Felicity Houghton, who is being escorted by her parents, Christine and Timothy Houghton. A resident of Tinicum and a graduate of Buckingham Prep School, Felicity has earned 3 varsity letters in track, soccer, and flag football. Off the field, Felicity serves in key roles as the student body vice president and student representative on the board. She is highly active in school organizations, including National Honor Society, French Honors Society, where she is ranked vice president of the French Club, Tea Club, STEM Club, Ethics Bowl, and Big Brothers Big Sisters. After graduation, Felicity plans to attend college, find a job she loves, travel the world, and spend time with her family and friends. Felicity Houghton. Our last junior representing the court is Lincoln Cook. Lincoln is the son of Michael and Beth Cook, who are escorting him this evening. He resides in Otsville and attended Tinicum Elementary School. Lincoln has earned 3 varsity letters in football, basketball, and track and field, and is also involved in the National Honor Society, League Crew, and Spanish Club. His future plans are to play football in college and spend lots of time with his family and travel the world. Lincoln Cook. Now for our senior court nominee. First we have Nora Feather. Nora is the daughter of Lee and Timothy Feather, who are escorting her this evening. She resides in Springfield Township and attended Springfield Elementary School. Nora is actively involved in Madrigal, serves as captain of the cross-country team, volunteers at St. Luke's, and participates in both the STEM Club and the French Club. Our future plans are to attend college and medical school and become a neonatologist, as well as travel the world. Nora Feather. Next, we have Bryson George, who is being escorted onto the field tonight by his proud parents, Elise and Cy Patroni. A resident of Tinicum Township and a proud graduate of Tinicum Elementary, he is a dedicated athlete competing for both PHS soccer and track and field. Alongside his commitment to LVU Club Soccer, Grayson is a member of the National Honor Society, Tea Club, STEM Club, and FBLA, while also serving his community by regularly volunteering with Rolling Harvest Food Rescue and the United Way of Monk County. Following graduation, Grayson will pursue biomedical School, elementary school, and middle school. Jane is the captain of the girls soccer team and also is on the wrestling and flag football team. Jane also serves as the student body president, president of the National Honor Society, chief science officer of the STEM Club, and a student representative on the school board. Looking to the future, Jane plans to study mechanical engineering in college while participating in Navy ROTC. Beyond her military service and career, her future goals include traveling the world and settling down with a loving husband, 2 daughters who play soccer, 2 sons who play football, and 2 dogs who are best friends. Jane Salvo. Next, we welcome Luke Rubo, who is being escorted onto the field tonight by his parents, Jesse and Chris Rubo. A resident of Pipersville and a graduate of Tinicum Elementary, Luke is a versatile talent across the arts and academics. He is deeply involved in music, performing in the orchestra and as a madrigal singer, and is a dedicated member of theater, even serving as a fall play producer. Luke demonstrates strong leadership as part of the National Honor Society, Link Crew, French Club, Stand Up for Silence, and the STEM Club. Following graduation, Luke plans to attend college to become an elementary school teacher, but he also keeps a famous backup plan to be a world-famous pop star or actor. That is Luke Rubo. Let's say hello to Ilaria O'Brien. Ilaria is being escorted onto the field tonight by her parents, Sylvia and Eric LeBlanc, and her little brother. A resident of Tinicum Township and a graduate of Tinicum Elementary, Ilaria is the leader in both the arts and the sciences, and is a talented musician, holding a position of first chair viola, and is involved in the madrigals and theater. Ilaria is also part of the STEM Club and contributes to the community through student council, Link Crew, and her volunteer work at Doylestown Hospital. After graduation, Ilaria plans to attend college and then medical school, with goals to achieve financial stability and travel the world with her family. Ilaria LeBlanc. Our last senior this evening is Chase Smith. Chase is the son of Melissa and Bobby Smith, who are proudly escorting him this evening. He resides in Rigglesville and attended Durham-Knocker-Mixon Elementary School. Throughout the years, Chase has been involved in a wide range of activities, including serving as vice president of the Palisades Middle School, working as a dedicated grocery store cashier, and competing as a top 2032 Texas Hold'em prospect, playing at a professional level in Minecraft Bedwars, and winning the 2015 Durham-Knocker-Mixon Spelling Bee. After graduation, Chase plans to serve his country as an officer in the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! That is Chase Smith. Before we announce our king and queen, this is a reminder for all students that tomorrow is our homecoming dance, a night in Atlantis, in the high school cafeteria at 6 p.m. Please enter through the Purple Gym entrance. If you didn't get your ticket yet, it's $20 at the door. All students must arrive before 6:30 and be picked up by 9 p.m. And now, for your 2025 homecoming king and queen, drum roll. Our 2025 homecoming queen is Ilaria LeBlanc.
We are back here at Walter T. Rohrer Stadium, so glad you could join us. Out the car alongside Toby Witt and Luke Stangs, both seniors here at Palisades High School. Guys, first half in the books, 13-6. We get ready for the third quarter. Luke, your thoughts of the first half of play?
Both teams seem to be all over the place. They're both struggling to get their mojo down. But every now and then they'll come out with a good play, really get the momentum going, and then the other team will go ahead and take them down.
How important was it for Palmerton, to stop that drive coming through? Obviously, Palisades is driving. They're trying to pass it to Lincoln Cook a couple times, but they went into the locker room only down, 13-6.
Yeah, it's definitely got to feel good for them. Definitely good for the mindset. And overall, they're in a great spot for the game.
Yeah, I mean, that last stop from Palmerton, that was great. That really set them up good going into the locker room. But at the same time, it wasn't a huge loss for Palisades. They were still in the lead. Everything was still looking good from where they were at. So I think both of these teams went in with good headspaces, and we'll have to see what happened in the locker room and see how they come out. See if they're on fire, or see if anybody's dipping their heads. But hopefully both teams have picked it up, and we'll see if anybody can get it going up here.
Yeah, Luke, how important is the first drive for Palisades? We said they really weren't getting that rhythm, but they finally looked like they were getting to some before they got, stalled on that last drive. How important is them to make their way down the field, or at least get a good drive going here, start things off in the third quarter?
The last drive, they look good with the short throws, so I think they should stick with that, keep going with that. And it'd be real good for them to keep it going.
All right, Queen and King, Ilaria LeBlanc and Luke Aruvo. Did you guys have that picked? Did you guys know that? Did you guys guess that or no?
No, not at all what I guessed, and
all right,
a little surprise for me.
All right,
yeah,
there you go.
I was definitely surprised too.
So that's King and Queen for homecoming. We'll take you to the scoring after this kick. Again, we'll be back at it in action here on PSD TV on Tuesday with girls soccer against Saucon Valley, and Wednesday with boys soccer against Plumstead Christian. 13-6 is your score at the half in favor of Palisades. And I was trying to get some scores from around the league. The one biggest score that pops up is Blue Mountain and Lehighton. That's been back and forth. Blue Mountain, who beat Palisades by a score of 42-21, is winning 28-21 against Lehighton in a really tight game. Palmerton lost to Lehighton by a score of 35-0. So a couple scores out there. All right, here we go. Ready to go for the third quarter. Again, a little different without a kicker, trying to make things happen here. And this ball will trickle out of bounds. Not the way they want to start. One correction, too. The fumble recovery was made by Carter Kilhefner. And he's the one that scored, not Matt Casterline. Got that corrected. So that was 7-0 to score at the 9:50 mark. After that, Jack Trickel, had a 5-yard touchdown run at the 3:08 mark of the first half to make it 13-0. Tagliari had a huge run down to the 28 plus 40, and then eventually scored with 36 seconds on the clock in the first half on a 1-yard touchdown run, and that's the score right now, 13-6. Palisades went for a 2-point conversion. They didn't get it. There's their 13, and Palmerton, without a kicker, had to go for a 2-point conversion, and they didn't get it there. So it's a one-touchdown game here as we start with Trickel under center, and the ball gets loose right away, and they dive down for it.
It's definitely a rough start for their first drive of the half.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Practice, especially from coming from the team and in Palisades, you can see in practice there's a lot of practice on do not fumble, do not fumble. Running backs are actually promised a steak dinner at the end of the year if there are no fumbles throughout the year. But one fumble and that's all over.
Steak dinner. Let me know what day that is. I'll just come by. Just underway, 13-6. Ball sits at the 35-yard line. Trickel tosses far side and gets Fitzgerald. And then across to the 42-yard line or so.
Short throw game's looking real good right now.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, that's what it's been. And if you start moving both sidelines, you know what's going to happen. That middle part of the field is going to get wide open for a pass play.
Yeah, one thing with Coach Smith, he really likes to run the ball, and you'll see him try and fight to do that, especially in the first half. He'll try and drive, and if that doesn't end up working, we might see a switch up here in the second half to more of a throw game.
That all being said, is a huge third down, comes in the near side, and that one incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Cook, and with that, the punting unit is going to come out for Palisades. So a quick 3 and out for the Pirates.
Not a terrible loss of yards there, but not a great pickup and a not the best first drive coming out of the half.
If we get a good punt going, we'd get Palmerton in some sketchy territory.
Yeah, Kuiper's going to be back there to receive the punt here. Low snap. Good punt. Should get a favorable roll. And it does. They're going to keep letting this roll down until it stops.
Probably the best punt we've seen from Jack Traquel tonight. There were a couple of rough ones at the beginning, but that one wasn't too shabby.
And the crowd here at Walter T. Royer Stadium, a little quiet here to start the third quarter. And I'm going to say a brisk night, but it's getting there, right? It feels pretty good when you guys went out there, right? You're starting to feel it. It's October weather now.
Yeah, we're in the October season. It's feeling like football weather out there.
Yeah. So just underway, a minute into the third quarter. 13-6 is your score. Start things off from the 22-yard line and bobble the snap. That was a direct snap to Alexander Kuiper, who just returned the punt. Well, went to return the punt. So we've seen two quarterbacks, and they change it up here a little bit to see if they can get some yards going forward.
Yeah, Palmerton's been switching it up back and forth, trying to figure out what's working for him. And they had the short run going for him right up the middle for a little bit, and then they kind of leaned away from that as Palisades started to lock onto that.
The Palmerton player shaking up at the end of that play. Didn't catch that, didn't see what happened there. No, with that, we were mentioning scores in the way that was. So 3A classification includes Palmerton. Right now, Notre Dame, Northwestern, North Schuylkill, Tamaqua, top four. Again, the 8 get in. So you're looking at, Palmerton sitting there at 8, Panther Valley and Salisbury, 6, 7, 8, all with the 2 wins. Pine Grove with just the 1 win. And then in the 2A classification, Palisades sitting in the 4th spot. That they had that loss against Penn Argyl. That's one of those, that got away from them there. And then Schuylkill Haven and Williams Valley have been tremendous so far this year. From the 25, back to action. And straight through the middle. And across the 30, up towards the 31-yard line. And another player looks – oh, no, I thought he went down as well.
That was a good play on Palmerton's part where they had been running outside for a while, and they faked it to the outside and then shot it right up the middle where Palisades wasn't expecting it, but they kind of locked down on that and had a good stop.
So it's Gursky in there at QB. So 3rd down and just over 2. They keep it on the ground. Palisades with the defense, a bunch of purple jerseys in there and nowhere to go. And there'll be a 4th down. I asked you guys this question again. You want to punt here, right, where the ball is. But we've seen what the punter has done both times. It's gone straight up in the air and down. So you may have a better opportunity. See if you can draw them off sides. And if you can't, just see if you can get a play running it. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they've tried getting them to jump off, but Palisades has been pretty disciplined and not going off sides.
4th down and 2. They are indeed going to go, and powering forward. The extra push is going to be well short, and the Pirates are going to take over from the 30-yard line. How big was that?
That's definitely a real big part of the game right there. Great stop by the defense.
And almost like we said, almost didn't have a choice. They had to do that.
Yeah.
Because both punts were straight up 12 yards or in that range. It was not far at all.
The one went out of bounds, not helping them, and they've been having some good drives right up the center. So the likelihood of them getting those 2 yards was a better chance than whatever was going to happen if they punted. So,
well, they were going to measure this one. I thought they were short, but then I saw the spot, and I was like, it was a pretty good spot. So let's see. Nope.
Short.
Maybe short. I knew I didn't have the best vision in the world, but then when I put the spot down, I'm thinking, they got closer than I thought. So 3 minutes get taken off the clock here, and both teams already have had a possession. But Palisades now in great field position at the Palmerton 31-yard line.
See if Palisades offense can pick it up. Finally, it's been a slow going for them.
And the handoff, and Fitzgerald has some space, powers through. And you guys been talking about the run game. They haven't really got it. That's their biggest run, right?
That's their first run. They were switching it up to the pass and hopped back to the run there, and that actually worked out pretty well. And man, if Palisades can keep this run game up along with their short pass game, they'll be unstoppable through this game, having options like that.
Yeah, they definitely shook Palmerton up with that last play.
8:35 and counting, 13-6 your score. And the ball down to the 15-yard line. Palisades in good position here. Again, bouncing to the outside, spinning through, and getting inside the 5 is Fitzgerald.
Another good run.
Fitzgerald on the carry, tackled out of bounds by number 23, Gavin Meitzel. Gain of 11 to the 4-yard line.
So first and goal for the Pirates, and they're quickly wasting no time whatsoever here. Turkel under center. And on the ground was Fitzgerald, but he gets taken down right away.
They got some good momentum in this drive. They just got to keep it going in the red zone, and that's the hardest part. Everybody can make it down the field, but when you get into the red zone, it's time to go. You got to score.
They'll get down to about the 3. So inside 8 minutes.
We can see Lincoln Cook out there all by himself, and that's dangerous for.
It's Turkel going to try to power forward. He's going to be short. You're right. When you're one-on-one out there, you're thinking, well, he's just a decoy out there. But then you never know. He just slides right back in, and the ball's in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him go for some trick plays down there when they went for 2, and I mean, there's no reason they wouldn't do it now.
So just over 7 minutes. And I think for the Pirates, despite that score, I think they're going 3rd and 4th down. Turkel from the 2-yard line. High snap, goes forward, and Turkel dives in for the touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown by Jack Turkel, and that increases the lead. It comes at the 6:50 mark of the 3rd quarter. Turkel came in with 3 rushing touchdowns, so he adds to that total. Extra point for the Pirates. That one is up, and that one is through. And with 6:50 on the clock, the Pirates take the lead by a score of 20-6. Again, short field. They decide not to punt the ball, and Palisades makes them pay for it. Your thoughts?
I mean, that's great for Palisades, and that's got to hurt Palmerton, especially knowing that they do have a kicker, and he's just not here tonight due to the soccer game that they had. And it's really hard when you have this team built up, and then when you're missing a player as simple as a kicker, and that could have given that touchdown up, and really changing the score of the game.
And it's always unfortunate that things happen, and you have soccer players that play 2 different sports, and you see some great soccer players, as kickers, in the high school level especially. Love watching them kick because they come out there like, oh, we're just kicking. They make it look so easy. Yeah, just kicking the ball. What's the problem? But when you lose them because you're playing 2 sports, Coach I talked to him this afternoon, and he said, I don't know who we're going to have kicking. This is our biggest concern. And when you think about it, because that's more. It's not just I don't have a kicker. I don't have a punter. it's the same, you know.
And that's who we have kicking for Palisades. Here we have Blake, who is a part of our high school varsity soccer team.
Right. Good defense here by Palisades. So Palmerton now puts themselves in a position down 20-6. I think we talked about this earlier. A 2-touchdown lead sounds bigger than it is in a type of game like this. Again, you're Palmerton here. You get a long drive, get right back in it. Game's fine. You don't, and you got to punt. Palisades could be in a position to really take this game over.
Yeah, and it's hard. Like when a game is moving this slow, 2 scores, it's a lot of work to get down there to the end zone and get that score up. So Palmerton's going to have to work for this, and if Palisades puts up another score, it's just gonna be harder for Palmerton to catch back up.
So they'll start things off from the 22-yard line, or do they? They'll get a penalty on Palmerton and a false start. It's the last thing that Palmerton wants, and I'm sure that Chris Wakowiak is not happy at all seeing that, saying, guys, we're down here and, can't afford these penalties.
Yeah, when you need a good drive, the last thing you want are some silly little penalties pulling you back.
So instead of the 22, they'll start from the 17-yard line. They go with 4 receivers. Going to throw and going to get a couple of those yards back. And then the reception made by Connor Lawless. Lawless, a 5'5", 147-pound junior. First down marker up around the 33-yard line. 6 minutes and change remaining here in the third quarter. Palisades lone touchdown, a 2-yard run by Jack Turkel to make it 20-6. Low snap, bobbled off the foot. Now looking to throw. Has a receiver, and that one incomplete. Fitzgerald was on the defense there, but, that was a good pass play in the direction of Kuiper.
That was good teamwork between Jack and Ashton. Jack was right behind him, helping him out. Great coverage by Palisades on that.
I also saw there was a lot of pressure in the backfield.
Yeah, we've been seeing that from the Pirates. Blue Mountain has taken a 35-21 lead over Lehighton in the third quarter. Here inside 6 minutes, 20-6 it remains. And it brings up another third down. Now they'll take a timeout here, and it does come with 5:53 on the clock. That's an early time taken for a timeout. Didn't like what he saw and knows that this is maybe a big possession for his team at that point. Again, we are in week 7. Looking ahead for Palmerton. They will be on the road again next week at Salisbury. Then home against Notre Dame, and they'll finish the year at Catasauqua. Again, 8 teams get in the 3A class, 8 teams get in the 2A class, as well as the 4 and the 6A. So, Palmerton would like to get a couple wins here down the stretch to put themselves in position to qualify for that tournament, because once you get in, you never know what's going to happen. But they're also in that classification with Notre Dame, Northwestern, and North Schuylkill, who are been some dominating teams. From the 24, far side of the field, waiting there and taking it. And that was just let me see where I get this one, and Fitzgerald's going to return this one. And Palisades in business right when he let that one go. There was a lot of purple there. And Ashton Fitzgerald gets the INT.
Great coverage by Palisades defense on that. We could obviously see that they were going for the pass on that. They had no one in the backfield and had all their guys spread out looking for a pass on that.
It's going to be a great energy booster for the Pirates, too.
Yeah, down to the 16-yard line because of it. So we've seen 3 interceptions tonight, 2 by Palisades, Jack Jekyll and Fitzgerald there, and Alex Kuiper had an INT also.
Definitely adds some excitement to the game for the fans, especially on a homecoming night with all these interceptions. It's good energy just flipping the ball around like that. Puts Palisades in a great spot with their offense.
Yeah, from the 16. And Jekyll's going to follow Werner. Always nice when your back gets a good block in front and gives your quarterback a little extra space.
Yeah, lead blockers, they don't get all the
attention.
The attention, but they put a lot of work in to make a lot of good stuff happen.
Yeah, you don't see their names in the paper saying, "Oh yeah, Billy made a great block." Yeah, but you know what? Billy's 2 blocks was 2 touchdowns. Down to 5 minutes on the clock, 20-6. They can't get a first down without a touchdown. And powering through and getting
great drive by
first down.
Palisades. You can see their line driving all the way down to the end zone, leading through.
That was Warner on the run. Still about a yard short, though. Again, as they were before. You know, this is where you start thinking Jekyll, as they've been keeping it on the ground. But Lincoln Cook goes one-on-one coverage on the far side, so beware there as well. 3rd down and 1 on the ground. And that's going to be on the spot. I think we're going to have a 4th down here. So they've given it to one of the last 2 plays and a 4th down here for the Pirates. This is a big play. Inside 4 minutes.
Palisades has an important play here. They got 1 yard to get.
Yeah, right. You don't have to get the whole thing. You just got to continue the drive.
Got to take little bits at a time and get this 1 yard and regroup with a first down.
They're going to throw this one, or are they? Actually, you can run with it. He only needs the first down, and he'll get the first down and also get the touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown run by Jack Jekyll to increase the lead to 26-6. Comes with 3:24 on the clock.
This is getting hard for Palmerton with Palisades now up by 20 points and a kick that seems to be good. So now they're up 21 points from Palmerton. It's going to be hard for them to pick this energy up and turn this game around. But Palisades has a great head of steam on them.
So interesting with that play, Jekyll started going out, and then you're looking for that pass, and it's like you only need the 1 yard. You don't need to go further. And then I thought he was going to cross the line and not be able to throw, and had no choice there, but he did, and then ended up scoring.
That's a great thing about Jack. He's has a great football vision, and he can see. He knows he needs that 1 yard, but he saw an open gap and took it and got another touchdown.
So here in the 3rd quarter, Jekyll with a 2-yard touchdown run. That made it 20-6. That came at the 6:50 mark. Ashton Fitzgerald came up with a big INT at the 5:42 mark, brought it down to the 16-yard line. A couple plays culminating in a 7-yard touchdown run by Jekyll to make it 27-6 here with 3:24 on the clock. And Palisades will kick the football off, but now a 1-touchdown game, as you mentioned, is now a 3-touchdown game. So this becomes a huge, almost must-score drive here for Palmerton here. Still time and a clock, but
yeah, now that Palisades has this rolling, and it's not helping Palmerton get their heads in the right space.
From the 8-yard line, And trying to make the cut to the far side is Maxwell. And Maxwell gets taken out around the 26. And that's where they'll start things off. And we'll see the Palmerton offense come back onto the field again. So far tonight, they've been going back and forth with TJ Weller and Tim Gursky in there at quarterback. I'm just trying to get a look here who they bring in this time. Looks like it's Gursky. I think once they had both of those guys in, Palisades has done that adjustment to kind of realize what each does. So again, they'll start at the 26-yard line. And if you're Palmerton, you don't have to. You can still play your game and run the ball and see if you get something going. You don't have to go for the pass right away. And that's what we're going to try to do. See if they have an opening. They do it to the far side of the field, and that'll be a first down and more. A great run there by Michael Gary.
That was a good run that'll help them pick themselves up. And it was inside run that went pretty far, which is always a great thing to see on O-line doing a good job for him.
So the ball's at 42, 3:11 on the clock. Remaining in the backfield is Gary. And he will take it and try to power through that defense, but nowhere to go. He was met on the play by Werner. Picks up a couple yards. Inside 3 minutes. You go back to that first half where Palmerton had that long drive. I think, it took a lot of time off the clock, but they couldn't convert.
Yeah, the first half was about a 0-0 game for a while. It was just Palmerton's one slip up where Carter was able to grab the ball and run it in, but there wasn't much happening throughout the game. It was pretty stationary around the 50-yard line for quite a few drives.
Silas Day makes a big play there, and just like that, it's third down. For Palmerton. And first down marker sits at the Palisades 48-yard line. And they're going to keep it on the ground. They like what they see, and a couple guys in there making this stop. Let's see what happens here. I mean, they went before. This time they're going to punt, and they got a new punter in there now. They're going to go with Devlin Moisen. Actually, Moisen is listed as a kicker. That's a high snap. I don't know if Moisen just came from the soccer game or not. Again, I don't know who their kicker was, their punter in the first place, but that was a big change from what we've seen.
Yeah, that punt definitely helped Palmerton out.
All right, so the score 27-6, a minute 7 on the clock. You get the Pirates, you go down, your score could be really a knockout punch. There's still a quarter left in the game, but you're really starting to, what we said in the first half, they couldn't get any momentum going, and it just kind of stalled on them. Even though it's been a short field twice, they've done what they had to do and get the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they really ramped it up, and they're starting to have options. They were throwing, then they started running. They're really picking up their offense, and if they're starting to do whatever they want out there, whether they want to run or pass, it's kind of up to them, and they're owning the field.
They will start things on the ground. And I always like when we said seeing those runs like that, just keep on moving your feet, keep on going and pushing through. And the carry there by Solomon Riddle. Riddle, a 5'10", 165-pound sophomore. So Palisades using a couple different players in the mix. That one was Riddle. And this will likely, pending a penalty, be the last play of quarter number 3. A quick moving third quarter. Jaquel going to throw, goes to the far side, and that's going to be close to that first down. I'm not so sure he got the first down here. It looks like it's going to be a third down coming up and it's short. So Cook makes the catch. Oh, they are moving the chains.
Yeah, there we saw them go from inside run to a short little pass. They're really throwing out there whatever they want, and they're making forward progress with every play. And they're really starting to get in the groove of their offense.
Yeah, and they decided that was a first down, so they rolled the clock, and that ends the third quarter. So 3 in the books, 1 to play from Walter T. Rohrer Stadium here in Kintnersville. Palisades leading Palmerton by the score of 27-6. We'll be back with more action on PSD TV. All right, back here, fourth quarter action. Glad you could join us here on PSD TV. Jack Jaquel pumps once and now is going to go in double coverage. And incomplete. Was looking for Lincoln Cook. Al DiCarlo, Toby Witt, Luke Stangs with you from Palisades High School. Look, your thoughts through 3 quarters.
Man, it was a slow first half, and now that we're getting into the fourth quarter, the third quarter, Palisades really stepped it up, putting up quite a few points, getting their offense rolling and shutting down Palmerton. They haven't put up any points in the second half yet, but we'll see if they can pick it up in this fourth quarter and get a couple points on the board.
Yeah, that halftime talk really helped the Pirates out.
So underway here in the fourth quarter. Second down. And Jaquel puts that one on the ground to Werner. And Werner, wow, look at the speed of him. Put him on the 4x100. He's off to the races. Say goodnight. He's going in, no flags.
Great run.
77 yards on the touchdown. Wow. That's a good way to start the fourth quarter of your Palisades.
Absolutely. The second half for Palisades has been a completely different game than what they started with. I don't know what went over in the locker room, but this is a whole new team coming out in the second half.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play. Looked like everybody did their own job.
Ogliero in there for the extra point. And just like that, it's 34-6 Palisades. Luke, what'd you see in that touchdown run besides speed? Because that's what I saw.
I saw a receiver all the way outside, way down the field, continuing his block all the way down, which helped help get Max all the way down into the end zone. Just everybody doing their job. That just keep the blocks going until he's in the end zone.
Yeah, I saw the whole O-line take the correct steps and take the right man to get Max in the open field.
So a big change in the third quarter. Again, 13-6 at the half. Since then, a 2-yard touchdown run by Jack Turkel, a 7-yard touchdown run by Jack Turkel, and a 77-yard touchdown run by Max Warner. The running game has really picked it up.
Absolutely. They ended the first half doing some short throws that were really starting to pick it up, and now they came out in the second half and have been running the ball right through the middle wherever they want around Palmerton.
It'll be interesting too when they get the ball back, maintain the lead that they are now, and they're kind of, in control of this game. Do they go, even though you like running the ball to take the clock out, those short passes still will get the clock running because they were working effectively. It wasn't like they're throwing downfield. The ones that are throwing downfield have been missing a little bit, though.
Yeah, the run game's a mental game, though. So if they can get their heads in the right spot, it'll be very effective.
Solid Day he's made some big plays today. Defensively, they're on special teams, making a huge stop. I mean, when you get hit by him, you're feeling it.
Oh yeah, he's a big kid, and he brings great energy to the team, and he's a great person to play with and a great guy to have on your team, especially in the defense and special teams and whatnot.
6'4", 220. So we're only 25 seconds in or so into the fourth quarter, and it's 34-6. Now in control are the Pirates. And powering forward for a few yards is Taglieri.
Taglieri on the carry, number 40, Solomon Riddle on the tackle.
And we get back to Solomon Riddle. He's making a bunch of plays defensively. Offensively, he got that one carry as well. Again, much different game-wise. It was a long, again, if you're even, it's almost, I always say when you have that homecoming or when you have that 20-minute halftime, here's a run straight through the middle. And again, it's Taglieri. When you have a long halftime, that's 20 minutes plus, it's 20 plus the extra 3. By the time you go, you have to, you're walking into the locker room, coming back. Taking a good half an hour by the time it's all said and done. It's like almost restarting, and it's sometimes tougher than you think.
It can go two different ways. If you're carrying good momentum out of the first half, and you have that long break, it can make you settle down and kind of lose the mojo you had going. But then at the same time, if you were playing bad in the first half, you can kind of have a full regrouping and kind of figure it out. And the extra time can help you kind of figure out what you need to change and what needs to happen in the second half to turn the game around.
Well, we'll see if we get any more big plays in this one, but the biggest one came by Warner, 77 yards. A little confusion down the field. Not sure what I think Palisades has too many players on before the start. They do. Okay, they take one off. But the down and the markers were not in the position they were supposed to be. Now they are. Now I think we're good to go.
The one clock's out.
Well, there's a play clock down. Making sure they see that. And they'll go straight through the middle with this one. And nowhere to go is Taglieri. And coming out of that pile was Chase Smith.
Coming out with great energy after that hit.
Taglieri on the carry. Chase Smith on the tackle. Gain of 1, second down and 9.
Inside 9.5 to play. Go 3 near side. That's going to be a flag. Jumping right through, and just Benjamin Negley just was about 5 yards downfield on the far side before. I don't think the ball was actually ever snapped.
Yeah, it's tough when you're that far away out from the ball. You can't listen to a snap count. You gotta pay attention to the ball because you can't always hear what's going on when you're that far out. You got to pay attention to the ball and just see when it snaps, and that's when you go.
From the 41, middle part of the field and incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Kuiper.
Pass intended for number 6, Alexander Kuiper, falls incomplete. That will bring up 3rd down.
They're throwing footballs up here. We're going to try to make a catch. All right, big 3rd down here for Palisades. See if they can make a stop on defense. Palmerton looking to extend this drive here. Big play. Middle part of the field, and that one is overthrown. And then they'll bring up a 4th down, and the punting unit once again for Palmerton.
After that last punt, they might not be so afraid to kick anymore or punt anymore now that they found someone that they can use.
So punting unit back out. Here comes the pressure and almost a block by Day. Don't think he ever got a piece of it. But boy, oh boy, he got into that one.
Yeah, that punter saw him coming, and he probably didn't want anything to do with that.
Somehow he got it off, though. So 8:35 on the clock, 34-6 is your score. Palisades in control with the 3 touchdowns here in the second half of play. And they've taken over a game that was 13-6 in the first half, at the end of the first half. Looking ahead for the Pirates, they will be on the road against Notre Dame next week and then finish with 2 games back-to-back at home. They'll get Wilson, and then they'll get Salisbury at home. So Trikel has done a good job all night. I mean, if you look at Palisades, again, we go back to sitting here as number 18. Do they throw the ball or do they just start running the ball? I mean, I think those short passes have worked, and there's still 8 minutes left. And if you're Palisades, you know right now you score, and this game's definitely in the books.
Have a good night.
Yeah, Palmerton's struggling to make progress with the ball, and if Palisades can keep what they got going, this game will be an easy wrap up for them.
Trikel looking to throw, gets flushed out and taken down. Great play defensively, flying on in untouched was Michael Gary. We saw what he's done on offense, but on defense makes a big play there.
Michael Gary tackles Jack Trikel for a sack.
Blue Mountain now leading 42-27 against Lehighton. Well, as quick as I said that, it's 42-34. There's a good game going on over there. 34-6 here. Trikel going to throw, and that is a reception and more for Max Warner. Has he stepped up his game tonight?
Absolutely. That pass, he probably picked up an additional 8 yards after he had already had people on him.
Oh, I saw a real late hit in the backfield.
Oh, wow.
Looks like Warner's run will be enough for the
So 7:40 on the clock. So that's Trickell on the got
Yeah,
hit.
it looks like it.
Very valuable player. And Palisades really can't afford to lose him.
Didn't see what happened. 34-6 is your score here. 7:40 on the clock. Trickell does get up and looks like he's going to walk off on his own. He's got to come out for at least one play. But I'm not so sure he's coming back in the game right now.
A little woozy,
Yeah.
If the trainers don't keep him out, Jack Trickell with the heart he has for the game, he'll be back in.
Well, he tried to make the U-turn and try to go back in, but there's like no.
They're not letting him.
We got to look into you first.
Sam LaRosa in at quarterback for this play at least.
No, it's like one of our best baseball players. Sebastian LaRosa now in the game at quarterback for the Pirates.
So LaRosa, 5'10", 150-pound sophomore, in there, takes the high snap. They go to the ground. They go to Werner, and he breaks a tackle and a little bit more, and a first down inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. Wow. He's been solid.
Max is putting in the work, running like a train right up the middle.
And came into the game with 50 carries for 296 and 3 touchdowns. He's added a touchdown, and he's over 100 yards on the night easily after the 77-yard touchdown run. Trickell gets worked up on the sideline.
Yeah. Well, not independent, but a doctor. I've never seen that word before. I don't think I'll ever see it again.
We're approaching the 7-minute mark. LaRosa from the gun. And back to Werner. And he gets to the 10-yard line. Looking at that first down marker is maybe about a yard short. Yep.
Yeah, they're just driving Max right up the middle. It's working for him, and they keep doing it, feeding him right up the center.
Yeah, I saw a great hole from the lineman.
Ball spotted at the 10-yard line.
About a yard short, just over a yard short of that first down marker. And give it to who got you there. And who's going to get you into the end zone again. So a 10-yard touchdown for Werner. That's his second. One from 77. And one from 10. And he's putting this game out of reach.
That was a great run by Max. He didn't see any opening in the inside, so he took it outside and went in.
Really sealing up this game for Palisades with only about 6 minutes left, and now their score is up by 34 points.
Yep, this would put the mercy rule in effect. Another thing is Jack Trickell is in there with the hole, so that is a good sign. They checked him out. They brought him back in. Aguilera in there for the extra point for the Pirates. And that is up. And that is through. And just like that, it's 41-6. And the mercy rule is going to go into effect now. I mean, where the game was 13-6, you said, oh, go in the locker room, that something happened there. Well, they woke up, Palisades did, and, they made sure that Palmerton, without that punter out there, and they're going for it a couple times, they made him pay on the 2 touchdowns, one by Trickell, and then the other one, both by Trickell, one from 2 and one from 7, that made it 27-6, and then they break the game wide open.
And yeah, it's hard for Palmerton. Like when you start getting behind like this, it's hard to pick yourself back up. And Palisades with this going, they're just going to keep building and building. And Palmerton, it's going to be hard to not let their heads dip, and they got to stay in this game and keep fighting until the end.
Well, there will be, once they kick this off, and we should see this one roll along pretty quick. Because Palisades is going to get a big win here. They're going to improve to 5-2. Palmerton will fall to 2-5. Blue Mountain has increased their lead to 49-34. See if they get a good return here. Taken there by Mikesel, and Mikesel gets across the 35 up towards the 37-yard line. So Werner with back-to-back touchdowns, one from 77 at the 11:42 mark, and then one from 10 at the 6:14 mark. And has put this game out of reach and has punched in the mercy rule. Now these 6 minutes will go as planned, 6 minutes, unless there's an injury on the field or a touchdown. Clock will continue to roll along. And the quick run, only for a couple of yards, was Ryan Sammy. So you see some new faces in there. Sammy, a 5'6", 150-pound sophomore. And I always talk about this too, is, you know, when you get game out of reach, you get other players in. Those players have been busting their tail in practice. They've been getting knocked around. They've been part of the scout team. They've been doing so many different things. So when you get into the game, you want to show your coach something. And I always say this. Sometimes parents get upset. They go, oh, you know, you're winning by 30 and you're throwing the ball. Well, or you're running the ball. Those kids work their butt off to do it. That's why.
Absolutely. And especially in these small schools like we are, you don't see a JV game every week because some teams just don't have enough players. So this is a great way to get the kids out, get them out on the field and get them some play time.
Yeah, and that's exactly right, because Palmerton said they tried to even get a 7-on-7 or a 10-on-10 JV game and they couldn't get it. So this is bonus for them to get those kids some good snaps. There's still some fresh faces in there for, you know, Palisades as well, because when you only have 35 players, you can only put many players in there, right?
Exactly. And nothing's better than a Friday night game as a JV player when you get to go in.
On the ground, and here's a big run. Still on his feet, moving forward. That's Ryan Sammy. So the sophomore with two big plays, meaning opening the eyes of the coach right there. 5'6", 150, and Ryan Sammy with some solid runs.
Oliver Mutterpearl on the tackle.
The ball sits down at the 30-yard line. Coach Chris Wakowiak would like nothing more to punch something in just to get ready for next week. Sammy again on the carry. And we get a flag.
No. They wait.
Yeah, you just ignore them. Okay. It's just try their habit.
Holding on the offense.
So holding call here.
We're just used to doing that.
I'll take you through the scoring here, and then as this closing in, we want to correct the first touchdown by Palisades came defensively. And then they had a fumble recovery. It was Carter Klehefner at the 9:50 mark. That made it 7-0 Palisades. Stayed that way until the 3:08 mark on a 5-yard touchdown run by Jack Turkel. So he's got 3 touchdowns on the ground. Tagliari had a 1-yard touchdown run to make it 13-6. That was your score at the half. Here on the far side on the carry is Colton Lebuckus. Lebuckus, a 5'8", 130-pound freshman. Third quarter, things really changed. A 2-yard touchdown run by Jack Drakell made it 20-6. After the interception by Ashton Fitzgerald down to the 16, that led to a 7-yard touchdown by Drakell to make it 27-6. That came at the 3:24 mark, and that was your score after 3, 27-6. Fourth quarter, Max Warner with a 77-yard touchdown run as he flashed through the defense, and he was moving. That came 18 seconds into the fourth quarter to make it 34-6, and then Warner at the 6:14 mark with a 10-yard touchdown run to make it 41-6. That's where we stand at now. The carry by Sammy. So he's getting the bulk of the carries here, and we're inside 2 minutes. One thing I didn't ask you guys during the game, I'll ask you now, I asked you at the beginning, seeing it from up top, does it change your mindset of the football game a little bit that you do see that space a little bit more?
Absolutely. I mean, down on the field, when you're in the play, everything looks huge. 5 yards looks like it looks way bigger. You're wondering how you're going to cover the whole field. Like, how are you going to get from where you are to where the ball is? And up here, it looks like, well, take a couple steps, and from up here, you see everything. And when you're down on the field, you're just seeing what's right in front of you. So it's so much easier to make a mistake and miss something down on the field, where from up here, you can easily see like, oh, that would have been the way to do it, or that's easier.
Yeah, being in the trenches, the O-line, it's a lot harder to see what the defense is going to do.
Yeah, right now, what Palisades is going to do is see if they can stop them here with 55 seconds left. Again, a lot of new faces, as much as you can on both sides of the ball. And they'll go on the ground. And Sammy with it. And Sammy didn't want to go down. I think one more stop here. I wouldn't be surprised if Palmerton tries to call a timeout. They won't. They'll get the first down. So 25 seconds left. Palmerton takes one more snap. I don't know if they are going to or not. It's going to run down on the clock. Guys, your final thoughts. Go ahead, Luke. You start first.
Overall, it started pretty slow, but then after that halftime speech, everything really seemed to turn it up a lot.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal game. Great job by Palisades, and Palmerton fought well.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. Great job tonight in the booth. That'll do it for tonight. Final score 41-6. Again, Palmerton will be at Salisbury next week, and Palisades will be at Notre Dame next week. Hope you enjoyed our coverage on PST TV. Thanks to Brian Gilbert. 41-6 your final score. Palisades winning this one by 35. Have a great night, everyone.